Hi there everyone, this is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth, and as you can tell by the title of this video, we've got a lot of information to show you and to cover in this one, so stick with us all the way to the end. We're going to start with the story about Bill Gates and Jeffrey Epstein. Now, if you're not familiar with who Jeffrey Epstein is, you need to be, otherwise this isn't going to make much sense, so I'll just briefly lay that out for you, just in case you haven't heard of him. Jeffrey Epstein was an agent who was working for American and Israeli intelligence services who posed as a philanthropist in order to get into contact with very powerful, wealthy, famous individuals. Now, it is believed, because of the multiple cameras that were found at his estate and the many cameras that were also found in his private jet, the Lolita Express, which was outfitted with a bed, it is believed that it's quite possible he was secretly recording some of these famous and powerful individuals engaging in unlawful activity like sex with minors, and using that as blackmail to be able to control these people at the whim of the US and Israeli intelligence, to be able to control them and to make them do whatever they want because of the blackmail they hold on him. Well, it's been already known that Bill Gates met with Jeffrey Epstein after he was already convicted of being a pedophile. Now, this isn't new information. Other media outlets have already reported on this. In fact, Bill Gates has already been questioned on this, on the record. But yesterday, a reporter, I think it was from PBS, decided to grill him on this question once again as to why he was meeting with Epstein after he was convicted as a pedophile. And just get a load of the body language and watch Gates squirm in his seat as he answers the question. But there's something else he says that I'm not so sure other people noticed what he was actually doing. Let's see if you guys noticed. Check this out. This is an interview. After 10 minutes of talking about the pandemic, she ends the interview with launching into this line of questioning about his meeting with Jeffrey Epstein. Check this out.
It was reported at that time that you had a number of meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, who, when you met him 10 years ago, he was convicted of soliciting prostitution from minors. What did you know about him when you were meeting with him, as you've said yourself, in the hopes of raising money?
You know, I had dinners with him. I regret doing that. He had relationships with people he said, you know, would give to global health, which is a interest I have. You know, not nearly enough philanthropy goes in that direction. You know, those meetings were a mistake. They didn't result in what he purported, and I cut them off. You know, that goes back a long time ago now. So there's nothing new on that.
It was reported that you continued to meet with him over several years, and that, in other words, a number of meetings. What did you do when you found out about his background?
Well, you know, I've said I regretted having those dinners, and there's absolutely nothing new on that.
So, nothing new, as he says. He's not, you know, he's not denying anything. He says he regrets going to the dinners, and but just get a load of what he says next. When the reporter says, what can we learn from this? Are there any lessons that you've learned? Or is there anything anybody else should know when questioning this case? Get a load of what he says.
Is there a lesson for you, for anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so you know, in general, you always have to be careful.
What? Did you catch that? He just said, well, Epstein's dead, so you might want to be careful. Wow, that sounds like a very veiled threat to me. Take a listen again.
Is there a lesson for you, for anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so you know, in general, you always have to be careful. And you know, I'm very proud of what we've done in philanthropy. Very proud of the work of the foundation. You know, that's that's what I get up every day and focus on.
Let me know what you think in the comments section below, guys. Does that sound like a threat to you? Sounds like one to me. And the important thing to remember here is if he is indeed compromised, if he has in fact been blackmailed by Epstein, then this man is under the control of some people we've never seen or heard about. And that's something that we have to continue to pay attention to, ladies and gentlemen. So good on this reporter to, you know, not just let up with this and to keep grilling him with these questions. Now on to the man who's not answering any questions. Joe Biden has recently just been seen in the White House having a meeting with Boris Johnson when Johnson takes some questions from the White House press corps. And even before he's finished his sentence, a reporter starts to try to chime in on a question to Biden, and the White House press just cuts them off. No questions for Biden. Get a load of this.
Let's go.
interrupts or unbalances the Belfast Good Friday Accord. That's the Belfast Good Friday Agreement. That's the. I think that's it.
Thank you. Let's go. Let's go.
I have no idea. I hope the microphone got it. I know. Megan. British reporters get questions.
Now, as you saw from that little factoid there, he has only answered 3 questions in the past week, in the past 7 days, and all of those answers had an average of 7 words. This is just remarkable that people can allow this to continue.
Somebody in the White House has authority to press the button and stop the president, cut off the president's speaking ability and sound. Who is that person?
I think anyone who knows the president, including members of this committee, knows that he speaks very clearly and very deliberately for himself. No one else does.
Well, are you saying that there is no one in the White House that can cut him off? Because yesterday that happened, and it's happened a number of times before that. It's been widely reported that somebody has the ability to push the button and cut off his sound and stop him from speaking. Who is that person?
There is no such person. Again, the president speaks for himself, makes all of the strategic decisions, informed by the best advice that he can get from the people around him.
So are you unaware that this is actually happening? Because it happened yesterday at the Interagency Fire Center. It was widely reported, the media's reported on it, and it's not the first time it's happened several times. Are you telling this committee that this does not happen, that there's no one in the White House who pushes the button and cuts him off in mid-sentence?
That's correct.
Well, let's take a different attack. he does speak for himself, but what happens when somebody doesn't want him speaking? You're telling us you don't know anything about this, that somebody cuts him off in mid-sentence. Is that what you're trying to tell this committee? Because everybody here has seen it.
Senator, I'm telling you, based on my own experience with the president over the last 20 years, anyone who tried to stop him from saying what he wanted to say, speaking his mind, would probably not be long for their job.
The man is so demented, so deranged. They're so walking on edge as to whether or not he's going to say something that might give them away that they keep pulling the plug on the guy. I mean, there's been multiple examples. Like, look at this one.
Thank you. And I'm happy to take questions if that's what I'm supposed to do, Nance, whatever you want me to do.
Or here, he recently said, oh, I got a question about a plan that we're working on. He's about to talk about a plan they're working on. They don't know what he's going to say, so they cut it off. Look at this.
Can I ask you a question? Whoops. One of the things that I've been working on with some others.
So, there is no free press in Canada. The whole thing is so completely rigged. Oh, look at that. Base jumper. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I don't know if you could see that guy falling out of the sky. Just jumped off of that mountain and he's falling to the ground. I'm not sure if you could see that or not, but he's about to land right in that field. Anyways, that's kind of cool. But yeah, this whole thing is so unbelievably rigged, and for anybody who can't see that, I mean, you need to get your head out of the sand. It's just absolutely crazy. Last and not least, guys, Doug Ford's daughter has gone on the record being very anti-vax, very anti-lockdown, very much so against the government's overreaction to this virus that has a 99.97% recovery rate. And she's lately been taking to social media and ranting about these things. Again, this is the daughter of the Premier of Ontario, a man who's been incredibly draconian, who's constantly flip-flopped. You know, he said there won't be vaccine passports, and now there are vaccine passports. It's because it's not his say. This is a global agenda that's being rolled out here, and little minions and pawns like Doug Ford don't really have an option, and we're going to see that roll out all over Canada. But get a listen to his daughter going on the record here asking some very valid questions. Check this out.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. As we could have all expected, the Liberal government won last night with a minority government, just wasting our tax dollars like they absolutely love to do and stripping our freedoms away one day at a time. So just remember to go and thank a Liberal when we go down the New World Order. And while we're at it, I might as well start talking about the CV. Does anyone question why the government does not want to release any of their research? Is anyone questioning why Israel their studies are finding that natural immunity is 13 to plus times more effective than the V's? Is anyone questioning that, or are you just going to line up and get your booster shots in 3 months? Did anyone do their research yesterday when I posted the New York Times independent studies that showed that in September of 2020, when very few people had the V in their system, that deaths were actually lower than in September of 2021, when apparently a very large portion of the global population has been double dosed? Is anyone asking any questions? Why aren't we asking questions? Why are more people dying now? Is it because the strain is really that more deadly? Because all of the research behind the strains show that they're more contagious, but they're not as deadly. Guys, start asking questions. I know many of my friends took their two and done, and I respect that, but you have to start asking questions now. Why are the two and done people stuck in a different country because they tested positive for CV? Isn't the V supposed to prevent you from getting CV in the first place? And even if you do test positive, what is the benefit of taking the V if you still need to quarantine in that country because you've tested positive? Where's the benefit for the people who did do their 2 shots, they did listen to the government, and now they're stuck in a different country because they tested positive? That puts them in a no different spot than me, who I'm not following the rules of doing this. So what's the benefit? What's the benefit if you can't travel, if you happen to test positive, you can't even come home? Ask yourself, ask your family, ask your peers these questions. Start having these questions in the workroom. Start having these conversations. When I posted back in May or June of last year about the upcoming mask mandates and to not comply, this is why I urged people not to comply. We found out right away that masks weren't very effective, if effective at all, based on how people were wearing them and reusing them. And it actually could have made things a lot worse for some people, and are making things a lot worse for some certain age groups today. That was one, but we complied. We complied. We could have looked it up ourselves and realized that the way masks have been worn and the type of masks that have been worn are not effective. We could have put our foot down collectively, and we didn't. And then you had the mask police lining up at the stores, and they wouldn't let people in without masks unless you said that you had an exemption. Some stores didn't even honor that. But that was the stepping stone to the V passports. That allowed businesses to find employees to stand at the door, to train their employees to be mask police. And here we are today. And you think it's just going to be movie theaters, restaurants, gyms? That's the first step. That's the first step. That's going to be hair salons, nail salons, massage clinics. They are going to take it all. They are going to take it all. And we've allowed it. We can't blame the government. We have to blame ourselves for covering our faces. If only we didn't cover our faces, we wouldn't be here today. But we are so compliant with what the government says that once they dangle a little carrot over you, and in reality, we all know while we're bitching about this, something bigger is going on in the background because they always want to distract us, but we do know what's coming on in the background, but I'm not going to start talking about it because why? I was called crazy last year, I'm going to be called crazy again, and it's going to happen. So I'm just going to stop. I'm going to stop, and I'm just going to ask everyone to collectively wake up. It's not going to be 2 doses and done. It's going to be boosters for life. And every booster that you take is going to weaken your natural immunity to fight off the viruses. That's it. That's it. Just stop. Stop complying.
So, again, that's Doug Ford's daughter, looking into these things, asking the questions that nobody else seems to be asking. And you know, she's taken a bit of a risk going public, obviously, but hopefully she'll decide to talk to the right people. The mainstream media is just going to slam her right now, and I'm attempting to reach out to her right now to request an interview. It would be great if she would come on the PFT platform to discuss her views. So I'm really hoping that's going to happen. It's possible. Things like that have happened before. If anybody out there maybe knows her or has a line to her, maybe you can put the word in her ear and say Dan Dix of Press for Truth wants to have you on the platform to do an interview. I'm going to continue to try to make that happen, guys, because as I said, we know the MSM is going to slander her, and I want to provide her a platform where she can freely speak her mind without being ridiculed for doing so. So I'll keep you posted on that. And that's pretty much it, guys. A lot of crazy stuff going on today. I want to leave you with this final, very, very important matter that we really need to get down to the bottom of. And that's this beard. A couple months ago, I decided to stop trimming it just to see what would happen. Never done it before. And now I'm at a point where I'm like, What am I doing? Do I keep going or do I go back to normal and scale this thing back? You guys let me know in the comment section below. What do you think? Keep going with the beard or trim it up and get rid of that thing? Let me know, guys. And also, if you appreciate my efforts to bring you this information, don't forget to click that thumbs up button, share this one. Don't forget to check us out at pressfortruth.ca/donate as well. We need your help moving forward, not only on the censorship front, but financially as well. As you know, right now I'm facing $2,000 fines for, as they say, breaching a quarantine facility. If you haven't seen that video, guys, check it out. Police and Pacific Gateway Hotel set up Dan Dix. Absolutely insane. I'm in the middle of fighting that now. Gonna keep you posted on that. But once again, if you appreciate my efforts, check us out at pressfortruth.ca/donate. Once again, click that thumbs up button, share this video if you found the information to be useful, and stay tuned. We're gonna have more video reports coming soon. This is Dan Dix reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.